Last time I did an episode on spiritual gifts. Among what can be considered a spiritual gift is the gift of speaking in different kinds of tongues. There are people who adamantly believe that this phenomenon exists and those who just as strongly believe that it doesn't exist. Some even say that speaking in tongues is from the devil. This episode touches on the topic of speaking in tongues as it applies to the Spirit. The New Testament talks about receiving the Spirit after Jesus was to ascend into heaven. There are several areas where it is stated that believing and receiving the Spirit are two different things. In the Bible, receiving the Spirit seems to be tied with speaking in tongues. Are they the same thing? Well, in John chapter 7, verse 39, which is right after Jesus says that anyone who believes in him will have streams of living water flowing out of him, it says, "By this he meant the Spirit, whom those who believed in him were later to receive." Up to that time, the Spirit had not been given, since Jesus had not yet been glorified. And in Acts chapter 2, verse 4, which is after he had been glorified, the experience in Acts was, "All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit enabled them." Are these two events linked? Should we be what Pentecostals consider tongue talkers? Let me know what you think, and I'll take you to this question of the day. Do you believe in the phenomenon of speaking in tongues? If not, what is your understanding of what Jesus was talking about in John 7? If you have a thought on the matter, I'd love to hear from you. You can email your response at search@ktfproductions.com or respond with a text or video response wherever you watch this clip. Also, if you have a topic that you'd like covered on the show, please let me know. If you've watched the last episode, you know my stance on this. I've never spoken in tongues, but I do believe that it does exist. I know of several who have genuinely experienced this phenomenon. Is this the Spirit that Jesus said that we would later receive? I know that many of you out there may be thinking that the Spirit lives in us once we believe, that He lives in our heart. Well, I believe that too, but what about the manifestation that came upon the disciples, the same manifestation that many claim to have today? The Bible talks about those who believe yet have not received the baptism of the Spirit, and once the disciples prayed for them, they began to speak in tongues. Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so please leave me a comment and be sure to join me next time for another episode of Search with Me.